Welcome to Tech Talk, your source for everything tech. Today we will be covering popular new operating systems being rolled out, as well as reviewing Microsoft's new virtual reality console. So pull up a chair and enjoy Tech Talk. Hello everyone, this is Tech Talk, your source for everything tech. My name is Robert, and this is Edwin.
Hi.
Yes. Now, our first topic today is actually about Linux. Apparently, according to eWeek, Ubuntu Linux 9.04 contains modest interface tweaks, but huge core improvements and big plans for the future. Ubuntu has now been redesigned to run on netbooks, and for the more tech-savvy, this new distro previews a new technology that lets organizations build their own in-house Amazon EC2-style compute clouds. Now, when I said for the tech-savvy, I meant if anybody knows what that means, please, by all means, send us an email, techtalkshow1@gmail.com. In other Linux news, Ubuntu also released a successor to their ext3 file system. By no surprise, this new file system is called ext4. Basically, after about 1 hour with my copy of Ubuntu, I loved it. Enough to give up Windows Vista? No. Edwin, your comments?
Well, I've tried out Linux a few times. I tried out I can't remember the actual crazy name that Ubuntu came up with for it, but it was back in like the 8 version, and it was kind of buggy for me. And then when they come out with Hardy Heron, I put it on my friend's computer and played around with it because I didn't have a computer at the time to put it on. But this new version seems to have a lot of new features, and Ubuntu's really catching up there in the OS race of starting to get up there with the Mac and the Windows, and maybe start to become getting on Dell's and Toshiba's and all the main computer manufacturers.
Well, Edwin, I know that Dell is actually beginning to install on Ubuntu systems. However, they did drop extended warranties on those systems a while back. I think that was recently, though. Okay, we'll be right back. Don't touch that pause button. Did you know that you can follow Edwin and Robert on Twitter? Go to iedwin.mp and 1gbram.mp to follow Edwin and Robert online. We're back, and now I want to turn back time a little bit. 2 weeks to be exact. If you all remember, 2 weeks ago we reviewed web browsers. Well, according to an eWeek study, Internet Explorer holds more than 50% of the market, followed by Mozilla Firefox with 30%, then Safari with about 9%. And finally, Google Chrome, Netscape, Other, Opera, and AOL, which all share 11%. Also, in an eWeek test, Mozilla Firefox ranked the fastest, most secure, and highest supported browser. So, Edwin, what do you have to say about this?
Well, you know my opinion on Firefox, and so does everybody who listened to the first podcast, but I'll state it again. Firefox, when I first tried it, was kind of slow for me. Now, granted, it was on a computer that didn't have 256 megabytes of memory, but we won't go into that. And since I have a Mac now, I have the Safari, which most of you know who listened to the first podcast, I know and love. And Google Chrome, is, I think, on Windows is the best browser.
Well, Edwin, I do have to say Safari 4 was released fully.
Yep.
And there are no more betas or anything like that.
Yeah.
I do have to say Firefox 3.5 is claiming to be 2 times as fast as Firefox 3.1, and it will be coming out soon. It's in a release candidate right now.
I might try that. But the one complaint I have about Safari 4, put the tabs back on the bottom. Don't like it.
Okay, so they did put the tabs back on the bottom for Safari 4.
And they didn't give an option to move them back to the top.
Well, Edwin, maybe you'll just have to look through those options menu when we get done with this podcast. Now,
Maybe
still continuing on turning back time, I'd like to talk more about the Palm Pre. Well, the Pre contains a new Palm OS called the Web OS. It also supports multiple applications at once. The Pre has a wide variety of network supports, for instance, EVDO, Rev-A, and 802.11b/p Wi-Fi. On the Pre, you can now search your contacts, the web, and Wikipedia all from one spot. It's compatible with Exchange, Google Services, Facebook, and POP3/IMAP. The Palm Pre also supports an online marketplace for applications, cut, copy, and paste, and a wireless charging accessory, charging without any wires. On the downside, though, the battery life is low and it's pretty pricey. So, Edwin, I'm gonna have to guess that you're still hooked on the iPhone?
Well, you guessed right. I am still hooked on the iPhone, but I do have some interest in the Pre. I think it's kind of cool, but I knew about the Web OS. I'm not quite sure because, as you know, both of us have yet to get our hands on one and actually touchy-feely with it. And the network support is kind of basic. The EVDO is kind of nice. That's a little bit faster than 3G. And I'm glad Palm took the time before they released the phone to add cut, copy, and paste to it.
I do have to say, Edwin, even my free phone with 13 megabytes of memory can do EVDO, so something is like seriously messed up with Apple if they can't add that faster support.
Okay, let me state it on that. That's not Apple not letting it. It's AT&T not letting it. AT&T is too cheap and doesn't think that the customers need it to support EVDO on their network. So Apple's chosen not to include that in their phones because AT&T doesn't include it on their network.
So then how is Apple making their new iPhone 3GS 2 times faster than the 3G?
Different radio band. Let's see, a different processor, faster processor, more RAM. Not that really matters. Bigger hard drive to it, or flash drive. It actually is. It's flash memory.